Hello guys. Okay, I got a really good question here about how I set up my structure lines or basic sketch. This has a big part of anatomy and how to draw anatomy. And that varies based on realism versus animation. For instance, the anatomy is going to look a little bit different than if you're going to do something more like realism. For this, I'm going to be doing a little bit more animation style. Obviously, my style is more like realism meets animation, so it's funky, but I'm going to focus more on animation, anatomy. When we think of anatomy and setting up guidelines, we can think of the body in shapes. For instance, the head is round, it has another round circle around here, which I like to do, and I kind of shape out the cheeks area and everything like that. When we think of the hand specifically, we can think of the hand as obviously 5 fingers if you want, and then we have kind of this like rectangular shape for this part of the hand. And then of course we do the thumb, which I like to do a circle right around here, and then another elongated circle for the top. And I like to break the fingers up into basically elongated circles and then a circle kind of where the little knuckles are, to kind of, make it kind of break it up between the bottom of the fingers and the top of the fingers. I'll show you an example actually on paper. So let's sketch out the hand. As I was talking about, we do kind of this rectangular shape, right? And I do it kind of where the bottom gets a little bit tapered. It doesn't have to be exact lines, like this. Then starting where the wrist will be, I make kind of another shape like this, where the thumb will be. Very helpful because I've drawn thumbs the different directions. It was bad. Here's when the fun part comes in. Then I draw my big elongated oval, kind of sort of in the center, like this, and then a round knuckle, and then a shorter oval right here, right? Knuckle, oval. You're just basically gonna make room for 4 fingers. This one. It doesn't have to be exact. No worries about spacing right now, because we fix that later. And then I like to kind of do this and reshape some of the line. Then I make my smaller oval at the top of both the fingers. And I like to make this one a little longer, or the middle one a little longer, either way. And this one's shorter since it's the pinky. And that's a very basic way I shape some of my structure lines for hands specifically. If we're drawing faces, for instance, you want to pick where your face is going to be in the direction of. Is it going to be front facing or 3/4, etc.? For this example, we're just going to keep it very, very easy. We're just going to do straightforward. We are going to start with one big circle. All right, doesn't have to be accurate. I usually go over multiple times to kind of get a thicker shape, right, like this. Then I do a smaller one, sort of going into my other circle, kind of half and half, like a Venn diagram. But obviously it's much smaller than this big one. I usually do a line straight down, because this is where we're going to talk about which direction it was. If it was a different direction, like this side, I would do it like this, and then have a curved line where my eyes were, right? Just kind of sketching out where everything is. But this time we're doing front facing. So I would kind of sketch out where the eyes would be, still circling it a little bit down, the edge of the nose, then where the mouth is right here, where it's usually where these circles meet in the middle, right? The middle of the small circle and the very bottom of this big circle. And then we can't forget our little eyebrows, which I usually do this. Sometimes I don't, because I kind of do wherever the eyebrows I think are gonna go. And then I would basically sketch out where the cheeks go, like this. Keeping note of the chin, maybe I want it to be a little bit pointed if it's that type of face shape. And then I usually sketch out where my eyes are on this line. I do like a circle here and like this. And then anime noses are very, very either, you know, they're like this, or they're more like that, or they're really just a suggestion like that, you know? So the nose isn't always so big, but this is a good way to also do realism as well, to kind of start as a base sketch for your realism. And then here, I kind of shape out the mouth. Do a little circle on the ends. And then my chin, right? Like this. Then using these guidelines, I sketch out the eyes. This is gonna be quick because we're not really drawing much of anything. It's just kind of the suggestion, how the process is, right? And then maybe our eyebrows. Something like that. And then of course our crease. It doesn't have to be a crease, and the crease could be very different. And then our eye. Sometimes I don't even draw the eye, really, because I just have it with color instead of actually having like, you know, a border. And then maybe you can even do some of the, you know, examples. And we can always just change up if our eyes are too wide, for instance, or if we don't like our head being this big, we can sketch out kind of an indent where the skull is and around like this. And there you go. When we talk about legs, I like to sketch it out in blocks, sort of like how we did with the hands. I start with a rectangle. I put a circle where I know where it's going to connect, like the kneecap. Then I do an elongated shape that is tapered. And then of course at the bottom I do another circle. And then when you sketch it out, of course, sketch around like this. And we're not going to do feet. Feet's its own little thing. Going around where we know things will indent, things will go up and around, such as the kneecap will have an around area. And that's a simple leg. I mean, you can do the leg multiple different ways, front facing, etc., etc. And they all have their own little bits of shapes, but generally it's going to be a rectangle joint of some sort, highlighted by a circle, and then a long tapered rectangle. So you can kind of see the same thing on this example of what I did with this sketch. I did a big circle kind of where I wanted my head to be, this circle, and then a mini circle here, and then I had my lines where I shaped out where the eyes were, where the nose are, where my mouth is, and it's not even actually that accurate. I kind of changed up where I wanted things to be, which is fine, that's fine. These are really just kind of guidelines. A good way to keep the thing that you want in the size that you want is I put a rectangle around, such as the hand, and I would keep it consistently that size where I don't go over that rectangle. I hope this helped. Bye.